Hi, everybody. I'm Holly Payberg-Torroija, founder of Loving the Process, where we help people with great stories become writers with great books and scripts. And today I'm going to offer you some tips on writing great dialogue in the form of an experiential exercise that you can follow along with me on now. I'm doing this because dialogue is something that a lot of my writers I work with tend to say that they're just not good at. But I say, yes, you can be good at it. You just have to stop thinking like the writer and start thinking more in the mindset of your characters. That is the trick I want to teach you today. Before we get started, though, I will just say this. I really do think my best tip of all for becoming great at dialogue is to actually take an improv class. I know for some of you that are introverts, that is truly scary, but it is a brilliant way to shake up the writer's mind. And it does exactly what I'm talking about in the exercise I'm about to show you. It helps you think from the point of view of a character, which great dialogue just naturally flows pretty effortlessly from that place. So, without further ado, though, I'm just going to hop into this exercise, and what I'm going to do is take you through a series of visualizations or thoughts, like I often do with my students. And then I'm going to actually give you time in between to, this is a working exercise. So I'm going to give you time to actually write in between and come up with the things. And if you need a little bit longer, you can just pause the video and then restart as soon as you're done with your thought. But I do like to make it move fast on purpose because it doesn't give that left side of your brain as much time to sort of get in there and cause problems. So, okay, so let's get started. So, for the sake of this exercise, what I want you to do is we're going to just think about one scene, one moment in time that has a beginning, middle, and end. So, if you're currently working on a story right now, a script or a book, then I want you to go ahead and just pick like your favorite scene that you know you have to write, maybe the one that you kind of made you want to write this in the first place. There must be something, even if you're not that far down the road, that you saw in your head. Yes, that one, the one you're thinking of right now, that you saw in your head that was the reason you wanted to write this story. So just grab that scene. And if you don't know what you want to write yet at all, that is okay too. You can still practice this. What in that case, what I'd like you to do is just use a scenario from your own life, maybe something in the future, something you wish would happen. Like think about a wish, that scenario that plays out in your head all the time, that you're hoping will be true. Now you get to play with that. You get to use your imagination. So go ahead, and I'm going to give you just 2 minutes to think about what this scene would be, and I'm going to time it. You can go ahead and start now. I'm just going to keep talking because I want to tell you a few things about it. What I want you to do is I want you to think of a scene and think about what the point of the scene would be. What every scene has to move the story forward in some sort of way. What is that point? What do you need your audience to know out of this scene? What's moving it forward? And I want you to think about, where does the scene start? Where does it need to go within it? And where does it need to end? Okay, so go ahead and think about that. Just very loosely. I don't need any details right now. Just where does it need to start? What is the point of it? Where's it got to go? And where will it end? So on your mark, just write it down. All right, you got about 20 more seconds, or hit pause if you need to. And go ahead and start wrapping up that thought. All right, great. So now that you have a scene, or at least a loose one, don't worry if you don't have it perfect, you can still keep practicing. That is the point of writing. We just keep practicing. We are not perfect when we start. But now you've got a general scene you want to isolate. And so that's the whole thing. You know how they're always telling writers, show, don't tell. Well, good dialogue is part of that showing and not telling. You can't just come out and say what the writer wants to get across via the mouths of your characters. That's exposition, and it's so annoying and presentational. No, you really have to show it. Um, basically in the way that the characters behave and in what they say. And, we remember that writers, I mean, not writers, people seldom say what they mean or mean what they say, and they don't talk in perfect English necessarily. There's a lot of M's and R's and whatnot that you want to actually be in your dialogue. You get to break the rules of English class when you're doing good dialogue, because you're just going to write the way people talk. But I'm going to show you how to come at this from an interesting perspective. So the first thing, just trust me on this, we're going to go into the first exercise. What I want you to do is I want you to pull away from being a writer. Forget about the whole scene for a minute, like the writer would care about, and your objectives as a writer. It doesn't matter. What I want you to be is your hero right now, the hero in your story. I want you to identify 100% and only care about their POV inside of this moment. You've put her in this moment. So what are they experiencing? Like, really think about that. Like, mentally walk in their shoes. Where are they? Why are they there? What has just happened to them before? Like that moment before. If you're actors, you know what I mean. You don't walk into a room with nothing. You come from whatever just happened to you 5 minutes before is still lingering on you mood wise when you walk into a scene. So what is that? What are they experiencing? Why are they there? Why did they show up at this particular place? Again, like I said, what just happened to them? What do they need to happen now? What are they insistent on happens in this moment? Or, what are they encountering in this moment that's unexpected and now feeling like they need to have happen? Who are they bumping into? People they know very, very well, people they don't know. What do they want from them? What are they willing to do to get it? Like, how will they feel if they don't get it? Like, really have stakes there in the scene. And is this someone, whoever they do encounter that they end up talking to, obviously, otherwise there's no dialogue, right? Is this someone they know super well, or is it a stranger? Because that changes how we talk to people. What ways is she able to go about getting that thing that they want? Like, based on personality and level of self-worth, or their status to the person they're encountering in the scene, how will they go about trying to get what they want? Will they be sweet and kind, or dismissive and irritated? Are they flirty about it, manipulative, impatient, excited, mad as a hatter? Or are they several of these things all in this one scene? Even better. But really get present to how your main character feels. Like, what do they want, and how are they going to feel if they don't get it? So go ahead and just write everything that comes to mind right now. Free flow. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Just don't hold back. Just whatever came to your mind when I was talking. And again, don't worry about anybody else in the scene right now. This is only, you get to be selfish with your main heroine's objective here. You get to be myopic and only care about how she feels and what she wants, or he and what he wants. All right, you've got about 20 more seconds. Finish your thoughts. And go ahead and start wrapping it up for now. You can always go back to it. So now what I want you to do is pull away from her or him completely. Forget about your hero for a moment. Just shake it off. I mean, literally, go ahead and shake. Nobody can see you. Shake it up. All right. And then now what I want you to do is I want you to dive completely only in the POV of the other character or characters in the scene. Um, like really think from their perspective what's going on. Why are they in this moment with him or her? Where have they been just before this? What have they been up to? Like what do they want from your hero, or just the moment in general? What are they wanting? Do you know? Maybe they just want quiet. They don't even know the hero. I don't know. But how do they feel about whatever your hero is up to? Do they know what he or she is up to or wants? Do they care? Are they completely ignoring them? Or is it at odds with what they want? Is there a conflict? Just for a moment, you really have to identify with their stance and really defend it, even if you know they are wrong or disagree with them. Even if this is your hero's nemesis, this is the villain of your story. You really have to, you got to love your villains too. So really identify with why they feel like they're right. Let them have that stance and let them be strong about it. And then, of course, also think about their personality. What type of person are they? Are they powerful or meek? Do are they dismissive or irritated, flirty, angry, disappointed, hopeful? Just really think about what is their deal. What do they want? And why do they want it? So go ahead and start just jotting that down real quick. Every thought that comes to your mind, do not judge it. Just let it explode on the paper. No one's going to see it. Keep going. And you got about 20 more seconds. All right, go ahead and start wrapping up your last thoughts on that. Okay, great. So now that we've gotten present to the characters on either side of this conversation and their conflicting wants and their POVs and their personalities, now you get to be the writer again, and just practice letting these personalities collide, remembering that what they don't say, you can actually describe through body language, and that can be just as entertaining and informative, if not more so, than what they say. The thing is that people really do talk with their body language more than their words. I think it's something like, I don't know, it's around 90% of a communication is through body language. So remember that, and remember that we don't always say everything we're thinking or meaning when we talk to people. Sometimes, you know, people will be like, I'm not mad, she says barkingly. I mean, this is how people really behave. So keeping all of that in mind, let's go ahead and practice letting these characters collide, only saying what you can physically see them doing and what they're actually saying out of their mouths. That is what a screenplay is. So on your mark, get set, go. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. And again, you're going, but just let it flow. That's what editing is for. You do not need it to come out in some sort of perfect stream for it to be worthy. It might be the last 3 lines you come up with that end up being the ones you keep, but you couldn't have gotten to those last 3 lines if you didn't write all the other ones. So think of this as just a warm up and just let it fly. All right. You got about 30 more seconds. And go ahead and start wrapping up that thought for now. Yeah, and give yourself a pat on the back for doing a job well done. Normally, in my classes, we would have a lively now discussion about this exercise and what came up and share some what ifs. And I really wish I could hear those, but since I can't, I will say, phone a friend. And yeah, if you found this helpful and you want more tips and tricks like that, I hope you'll go to my website, the lovingtheprocess.com, and subscribe, because I won't spam you, but I do put out tips and tricks and blogs about the writer's life and all that sort of stuff on there. So it'll give you some inspiration. Or if you are a writer that is feeling like, man, I would love more support like this, then go ahead and go to my website and just hop on my calendar, hit the consult button. And you can find out more from me about my year-long program, where I walk writers through every step of the process to support them on their journey to getting those important stories out of their head and onto the page. And I also remind them that this was just 10 minutes of writing. So you do have time. Just write daily. And that's what I will leave you with, that thought, that even just a half hour a day keeps the old internal critic at bay. So have a great one. I hope you enjoyed this exercise and hope to see you on the website. All right. Bye.